Most people walk past danger without ever noticing it. But Keanu Reeves wasn't most people. A little girl walked beside a man twice her size, hand trembling as she lifted it, 5 fingers stretched, palm facing out. Not waving, not greeting, but a rescue signal. Most would have missed it. But Keanu didn't. And what he did next made the entire street freeze. Before we continue, I just want to say thank you for watching and supporting these stories. It truly means the world. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful, real-life inspired story. Alright, let's get back to it. Keanu Reeves wasn't supposed to be on that street. Not tonight. Not at that exact moment. He had just left a late-night recording session, the kind that ran longer than expected because the sound engineers wanted one more take and maybe another after that. So instead of taking the studio driver, Keanu insisted on walking. Said he needed some air. Said he wanted to clear his head. Said he liked the quiet. But fate had other plans. The city was unusually still. A kind of hush had settled over the long blocks and tall buildings, as if the world was holding its breath. Neon lights pulsed in the distance, and the cold night air carried a faint smell of rain. Keanu walked with his hands in his pockets, listening to the soft echo of his footsteps, lost in thought. It had been a heavy week, too many meetings, too much noise, too little peace. He craved silence. And then he saw her. A little girl, maybe 8, maybe 9. Thin, messy hair, dusty jacket, backpack slung over one shoulder. She wasn't walking. She wasn't running. She was standing completely still on a dimly lit sidewalk, beside a man Keanu didn't recognize. A man whose hand was clamped around her wrist. The girl's eyes darted up and down the street. Not searching. Not wandering. Scanning. Keanu slowed down. Something about her posture, rigid, tense, stopped him in his tracks. The man beside her didn't seem to notice Keanu yet. He was focused on the girl, tugging her forward impatiently. "Come on, we're late," the man snapped. The girl didn't move. Her eyes suddenly locked onto Keanu. And in that instant, so quick he almost thought he imagined it, she raised her hand. Not waving. Not gesturing wildly. Not asking for directions. Just lifting her hand, palm open, arm high. And that tiny motion hit Keanu's chest like a freight train. Because he knew exactly what it was. Not everybody would. But Keanu did. It was a signal. A known, widely taught, silent distress call. The one used by victims when they can't speak. The one that means, "I need help." Keanu stopped walking. The girl froze too. The man gripping her wrist finally noticed and turned around, his eyes narrowing, sizing Keanu up. "What are you staring at?" he barked. Keanu didn't answer. He didn't need to. He stepped closer, slow, steady, controlled, his expression unreadable. The man's grip tightened on the little girl's wrist. "She's fine," he snapped. "Mind your own business." Keanu's voice was soft. Almost gentle. "Let go of her." A scoff. A laugh. A shove of his shoulder, as if he were brushing off some harmless stranger. "Beat it, man." The little girl tried to tug her hand away, subtle, small, almost invisible. But Keanu saw it. He saw the panic in her eyes. He saw the silent plea. And in that moment, the world inside him shifted. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a child having a tantrum. This wasn't a father-daughter argument. This was wrong. Keanu took another step forward. The man stiffened. "Hey, I said beat it, she's my kid." Keanu didn't blink. Didn't flinch. "What's her name?" he asked. The man's lips twitched. "Her name," he repeated, stalling. "Why do you care? I told you she's my daughter." Keanu tilted his head slightly, his voice still calm, still even-toned. "Okay, so what's her name?" Silence. The girl's eyes widened. The man swallowed. Then he did something that confirmed every instinct Keanu had. He tried to drag her away. Not guide. Not lead. Drag. The girl stumbled, nearly falling, letting out a tiny, trembling sound. And that was it. The moment the man yanked her forward, Keanu closed the distance between them in 3 long strides. He reached out, quick as a whip, placing a strong but gentle hand on the man's wrist. Let her go. The man tried to pull away, failed. Tried again, failed. Keanu wasn't even straining. Then the man shoved Keanu's chest. Hard. Back off, old man. Old man. Keanu almost smiled. Instead, he spoke in a voice so low it made the man's shoulders tense. Listen to me carefully. You let go of this girl, or I promise you, you are not going to like what happens next. The man opened his mouth to argue. But suddenly, the girl twisted her wrist free and ran behind Keanu, pressing herself against the back of his coat. She didn't speak, just clung to him, shaking. And Keanu felt her fear as if it were his own. There, he whispered just loud enough for her to hear, "You're safe now." The man lunged. Big mistake. Keanu blocked him with one clean motion, stepping forward and knocking the man off balance without even throwing a punch. The man crashed back into a street pole, clutching his arm. "You're crazy," he shouted. Keanu's stance didn't move. Didn't shift. He looked carved out of stone. "You're not taking her anywhere," he said. The man spat, his voice cracking with anger. "You don't know anything about this. Stay out of it." But Keanu wasn't looking at him anymore. He was looking at her. The girl behind him, trembling, wide-eyed, clutching his coat. "You want to tell me your name?" Keanu asked gently. She nodded timidly. He crouched a little, keeping his body between her and the man. "Okay, go ahead." "My name is Harper," she whispered. Keanu felt his chest tighten. She trusted him enough to talk. He nodded slowly. "Harper, is this your dad?" Harper's head shook instantly. "No," she choked. "He grabbed me when I got out of the store. I tried to run." Keanu didn't need to hear anything more. He straightened. And in that moment, something flickered behind his eyes. Something cold. Something dangerous. Something that said, "You just crossed the wrong man." The stranger. He saw it too. And panic crawled up his spine. "I didn't do anything," the man stammered. "She's lying. Kids lie all the time." Keanu stepped forward slowly, like a storm rolling in. "You're done," he said. The man panicked, trying to bolt. But the sound of approaching sirens cut through the night. Keanu had already called 911. He hadn't lifted a fist. He hadn't thrown a punch. He hadn't acted recklessly. He had simply done what real protectors do. He stayed calm, he stayed aware, and he stayed between danger and a child. Police cars screeched to a stop. Officers piled out, recognizing him instantly, but Keanu waved it off. "It's not important who I am," he said. "Just help her." Harper ran to him, holding onto him again, burying her face into his coat. And Keanu did something no one expected. He hugged her. Softly, carefully, as if she were made of glass. "It's okay," he murmured. "You're safe now, I've got you." An officer approached. "Sir, we'll take it from here." Keanu shook his head. "I'm staying with her." The remaining officers surrounded the struggling man, handcuffing him as he shouted and kicked, but no one focused on him. Everyone's eyes were on the girl, and on the man holding her like she mattered. A nurse from a nearby clinic came rushing out. "She needs to be checked," she said urgently. "We have a pediatric station inside." Harper tightened her grip. "No," she whimpered, "don't leave." Keanu bent down and looked her in the eyes. "I'm not going anywhere," he promised. "I'll be right beside you the whole way." Her shoulders relaxed. Keanu stood, scooping her into his arms, and carried her inside the clinic as if she were his own child. The officers and bystanders just watched. Some whispered. Some cried. Others recorded. But no one stopped him. Because there are moments when people don't see the actor. They don't see the celebrity. They don't see the fame. They see the man. The protector. The stranger who stepped up because no one else did. Keanu Reeves carried Harper through the sliding doors, her arms around his neck, her tiny voice trembling in his ear. "Thank you." He held her a little tighter. "You don't have to thank me," he said. "You raised your hand, and I saw you, that's all." But Harper shook her head. "No," she whispered, "nobody else did." Keanu swallowed hard. And that was the moment he realized. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The clinic doors slid shut behind them, sealing out the chaos, the sirens, and the shouts from the man police were dragging away. Inside, everything felt different. Bright, quiet, sterile. But Harper wasn't looking at the lights or the room, or the doctors staring in disbelief at the sight of Keanu Reeves carrying a terrified little girl in his arms. She was focused on one thing only. His shoulder. Her small fists clung to his shirt, knuckles white, fear radiating from her like heat. Keanu didn't rush her. He didn't try to pry her hands off. He simply shifted her gently against him and whispered, "I'm right here. No one's taking you anywhere." She nodded, but her grip didn't loosen. A nurse, short hair, kind eyes, stepped forward. "Sir," she said, voice soft, "she needs to be evaluated. Trauma response can be." Keanu raised a hand, not rudely, not dismissively, but protectively. "I know," he said, "but she's scared. Let me talk to her first." The nurse paused, then nodded. Keanu lowered himself slowly into one of the padded chairs, Harper still curled in his arms like a kitten trembling in a storm. He didn't try to force eye contact. He let her stay tucked against him. After a few seconds, Harper whispered, Do I have to stay here?" Keanu's voice stayed warm and even. "Only for a little bit, just to make sure you're okay." Her breath hitched, but what if he comes back? Keanu tightened his hold, not crushing but steady, grounding. "He won't," he said, and there was steel in his tone. "He's not getting anywhere near you." Harper peeked up at him, tear tracks on her cheeks. "Promise?" He nodded once. "I promise." Only then did her shoulders drop. Only then did she breathe easier. Only then did Keanu signal to the nurse, who returned with a pediatric doctor. The doctor crouched down, smiling gently. "Hi there, Harper. My name's Dr. Alyssa. Is it okay if I check your wrist?" Harper looked at Keanu, silently asking permission. Keanu offered a small, encouraging smile. "It's okay. I'm not going anywhere." Finally, Harper nodded. As the doctor examined her bruised wrist, Keanu kept talking to her. Nothing deep, nothing heavy, just calm little reassurances that she wasn't alone. "You did the right thing raising your hand like that," he said quietly. "That's what saved you." Harper whispered, "Nobody ever noticed before." Keanu felt a stone drop in his stomach. "Has this happened before?" he asked gently. She shook her head quickly. "Not with him, but when I get scared, sometimes people walk past. Nobody listens to kids." That hit Keanu hard. Too hard. It reminded him of something he never talked about. Something old. Something buried. He pushed the thought aside and focused on her. "Well," he said softly, "I'm not nobody, and I saw you." Harper managed a small, shaky smile. The doctor finished the examination. "She's okay," the doctor said. "Just a mild sprain, some bruising, and she's shaken up. We'll need to talk to her mother or father." Keanu opened his mouth. But Harper beat him to it. "My mommy's probably home," she said, "but I lost her." The doctor frowned. "Lost her?" Harper sniffed, wiping her face. "I was supposed to go to my friend's birthday party. Mommy let me go inside the store to buy a bag for the present. But when I came out, she wasn't at the car. She wasn't anywhere, I think." Her voice cracked. "I think she thought I was already gone to the party. She probably went home thinking I got picked up by my friend's mom." The doctor and nurse exchanged glances. Then the nurse said gently, "So your mother doesn't know you're missing?" Harper shook her head. Keanu inhaled slowly. Then he stood up with Harper's hand in his. "Can we call her?" he asked. Harper nodded. "She'll be really worried. She's all I have." "All I have." Keanu felt those 3 words like a punch. He knelt beside her so they were eye level. "Okay," he said softly, "let's call her." The nurse brought over a phone. Harper typed in the number with shaky fingers. It rang once. Twice. 3 times. 4. "Hello," a frantic voice answered. "Harper, Harper, sweetie, where are you?" The moment the little girl heard her mother's voice, she broke down entirely, sobbing into Keanu's shirt as he wrapped an arm around her. Mommy," she cried. I'm sorry, I tried to find you, I didn't know, he grabbed me." "What?" her mother screamed. "Who grabbed you? Harper, where are you?" Keanu took the phone gently. "Ma'am, my name is Keanu Reeves, your daughter is safe, we're at a clinic near." There was a pause. Then, "Keanu Reeves, the Keanu Reeves." He smiled slightly. "Just Keanu is fine." She burst into sobs of relief. Oh my God, thank you, I'm coming right now." Keanu gave the address, then handed the phone back to the nurse. Harper stayed glued to his side. Minutes passed. Then, the clinic doors flew open. A woman ran inside, hair messy, face streaked with tears, keys still in hand, and nearly crashed into a bench trying to reach them. "Harper," she cried. Harper let go of Keanu and ran into her mother's arms. They fell into each other, hugging so tightly it was impossible to tell where one ended and the other began. Keanu stood back, giving them space. The mother held Harper's face in her palms, checking every inch of her, tears spilling freely. "Are you hurt? Did he do anything else? Sweetie, talk to me." Harper shook her head. "No, Mommy, Keanu saw me. I did the hand signal, the one from the video you showed me, and he came over. He didn't let him take me." The mother's eyes filled with awe and gratitude. She turned to Keanu. And she froze. I don't even know how to thank you," she whispered. "You saved my daughter." Keanu shook his head. "She saved herself. She asked for help. I just happened to be there." "No," Harper said sharply, stepping toward him. "You didn't just happen to be there." She grabbed his hand with both of hers. "You saw me." Keanu's throat tightened. Her mother stepped closer. "Please," she said, taking a shaky breath, "tell me what happened." Keanu explained gently, nothing exaggerated, nothing dramatic, just the simple truth. How Harper raised her hand. How the man tried to drag her away. How he stepped in. How the police arrived. By the time he finished, Harper's mother was crying again, but this time out of relief, not fear. "I hope they lock him up forever," she whispered. "They will," Keanu said. "You should talk to the officers when they're done processing him." The mother nodded. But then she looked at Keanu more closely. "You're hurt," she said, noticing his scraped knuckles and the red mark on his neck from where the man shoved him. Keanu glanced down. "It's nothing." Harper's mother frowned. "Let the doctor look at you." "I'm fine," he said. Before he could protest further, Harper tugged his sleeve. "Could you sit with us until the police come talk to Mommy?" Keanu looked at her, at those trembling eyes, at the trust she had placed in him. He nodded and sat beside her. Harper leaned against him again. "Do you save people all the time?" she asked. He chuckled softly. "Not exactly." "You did today." He smiled at the floor. "Yeah," he murmured, "I guess I did." 15 minutes later, 2 officers entered the clinic. "Sir, miss, we need to ask some questions." Harper held tighter to Keanu's arm. He rested his hand on hers, reassuring. The questions weren't difficult. Names, timelines, descriptions. Harper stayed brave the whole time, her mother staying close and Keanu anchoring her. Finally, the officer closed his notebook. "We've reviewed the camera footage. Your intervention prevented what could have been a very serious kidnapping. Most kids don't know how to signal for help like that." Harper lifted her chin proudly. "My mommy taught me." The mother smiled through her tears and kissed the top of her daughter's head. "Smart girl," the officer said. Harper simply squeezed Keanu's arm again. "Can we go home now?" she whispered. The officer nodded, "Of course." They started gathering their things. Harper's mother paused and turned to Keanu. Would you like to walk us to the car?" It wasn't necessary. There were police everywhere. The threat was gone. But Keanu understood. She wanted him there. For her peace of mind. And for Harper S. Of course, he said. They stepped outside into the cold night air. Harper reached up and took his hand again, small fingers threading into his. Thank you, she whispered. Keanu looked down at her. You're welcome. When they reached the car, Harper's mom opened the door, then hesitated and looked at Keanu with trembling gratitude. If you ever need anything at all, please call me. You saved my entire world tonight. Keanu shook his head gently. No need, just take care of her. The mom pulled Harper into the car and shut the door. She gave Keanu one last grateful look, then drove off. The taillights faded into the night. The street grew quiet again. Keanu stood there for a moment, breathing in the cool air, letting the adrenaline fade, letting the weight settle. Then, a small voice echoed in his mind. You saw me. He exhaled slowly and whispered to himself, I'll always see you. Then he turned and walked into the night. Not as an actor, not as a celebrity, not as a Hollywood legend, but as a man who simply did the right thing.